Well, there are fears that Lebanon could be dragged further into the conflict. The UN Peacekeeping Force in Lebanon says its headquarters in the south of the country was hit by rocket fire. There are no reports of casualties. Now, earlier, at least one Israeli was killed and 3 wounded after Hezbollah said it targeted a military post near the border in a missile attack. In response, the Israeli army shelled Lebanon's border and set up a 4-kilometre-long buffer zone. Ali Hashim reports from southern Lebanon.
During this day, at least 5 attacks on military posts, Israeli military posts from Hezbollah. And during one of the exchanges, we witnessed the launch of at least 10 rockets from the Lebanese borders towards the Israeli borders. And some of them were intercepted, or most of them were intercepted by the Israeli anti-missile system. Now, this is becoming a different situation, and the pattern of daily attacks is kind of being enhanced by Hezbollah's attacks today. Hezbollah says that these attacks were in retaliation to the killing of a journalist and a couple of citizens in the southeast borders of Lebanon. But if we just go through the Israeli retaliation today from the southwest borders to the southeast borders, that's at 120 kilometers border. Every and each sector of this border was being bombarded today in retaliation to Hezbollah's attacks. And this raises the concerns here that Lebanon is sliding gradually into the bigger conflict.
Well, Sami Nader is the Director of the Levant Institute for Strategic Affairs. He joins us from Beirut. Thank you very much for being on the programme. First of all, I want to ask you about the UN Peacekeeping Force there in Lebanon. Its headquarters was hit only a few hours ago. I know that this is a new and unfolding situation, but what more do you know about it from where you are, and how big of a worry is this?
Nothing much in terms of insights where these rockets that hit the UN presence were launched from. However, this is a very symbolic attempt to, because the UN presence there, it symbolizes the rules of engagement that were prevailing for at least the last decade or decade and a half. And the fact that it was hit today, it is like a message that these rules of engagement are about to change. Up to now, the exchange of fires between Israel and Hezbollah on the northern front of Israel were under what we can call the prevailing rules of engagement. Israel launching rockets, and then Hezbollah replying on Shebaa farms, which is a disputed area. So in a way, it was business as usual, if we can put it this way. And the whole thing was monitored by the UN forces. Today, targeting the UN forces, and up to now, we don't know where these rockets are coming from. And knowing where these rockets come from will give us some insights in reading who has interest in escalating this war and turning it into a regional confrontation.
Yeah, our correspondent who's in the area described it as a tit-for-tat between Hezbollah and Israeli forces. I mean, how does Hezbollah even want to be drawn into this?
I don't think that Hezbollah, as for now, want this war. I don't think that he is about to sustain the result and the consequences of a war similar to that of 2006, because the conditions today are totally different. Lebanon is in a total economic collapse. 80% of its population are living under the line of poverty. Plus, the Lebanese have still in mind the Beirut explosion port cost on them. Practically half of the city was destroyed, and this was because of Hezbollah involvement in the war in the region. However, I would say if Iran would sense that it is about to lose Hamas, which is a key strategic asset for Iran. It's a very important pressure card inside Israel. So it's like Iran having clout inside Israeli border. If it feels that it is about the balance of power would change at the detriment of Hezbollah, or it is about to lose this strategic asset, Iran may push Hezbollah to widen, to escalate, trying to divert Israeli military effort from Gaza to other fronts.
Okay, thank you so much for that. We really do appreciate your time coming on Al Jazeera. That is Sami Nader.